Welcome to the show. Welcome to Nocturnal Frequency Radio here, live on New Visions Radio Network, and of course, simulcasting on our YouTube channel. And yeah, it's I don't know about the weather out your way, Justin, but here I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's raining,
It's a
It's
fucking
raining
shit show.
here.
Well, it snowed
snowing.
first, now it's raining.
Yeah, and now they're talking about freezing rain later on tomorrow.
Yeah, it's happening. It's coming.
Hey,
How's the
I thought we
I don't want it.
finished with that kind of talk, Justin.
Oh, no, we still got to figure out Steve's ear issue.
Well, hey, I thought no, we figured it out. We just don't want to repeat it on the show.
Yeah.
Hey, at least my ear issue isn't as bad as the rectum.
Yep,
Well, I'm falling apart over here.
Here we go.
damn near rectum.
It's already falling apart now. We might as well give up.
Not even like
No,
10 minutes
weather-
in.
The weather's not too bad. It's mild here, but I'm waiting for that coldness to come, which is what I loathe the most about living in the Midwest.
It's no different here.
I would assume, yeah,
Yeah.
I would assume.
Well, we usually get the tail end of the shit that you usually deal with.
Yeah.
It's called that Alberta Clipper jet stream garbage crap.
Oh, that makes sense. Yes,
Something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
the Alberta
it-
twirl.
Yeah, it seems they pick up hitchhikers as it goes along.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's leaves a path of devastation.
yeah.
We have it
I
so
guess
bad. They don't know. The rest of the states don't know anything about what some of the northern states have to deal with when it comes to this stuff. It is ridiculous at times.
Yep.
Well, don't they consider you Canadian anyways?
Partially, I really did consider Minnesota and Wisconsin are Canada.
Canada.
Well, I don't know with the accents, you know, like
It gets pretty close.
like
Michigan,
you know,
I don't know about Michigan so much, but for sure Wisconsin and Minnesota, I would consider it part of Canada. I was about to call Canada again.
Canuck. You're our adopted Canuck.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it's like watching the show. What is it, Fargo?
Oh yeah, I've not finished it, but
I love that show, man. But
Yeah.
it's interesting to see the lifestyle that they portray. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's kind of I guess a low, laid back type of lifestyle in some sense. It's even though you got the winter, you got everything else going on, but as far as I could tell, it's laid back. It's laid back to the south, and it's laid back of the north when it comes to like me being a Midwestern type of person.
Well, it's not like you really have any threat from the north.
That's why it's laid back.
I mean, I think just north of you are the prairies.
Yeah. Well,
know?
even if you go to Southern Illinois, it's a totally different state compared to Northern Illinois. That's for sure. It's different mentalities and everything. It's beautiful too. But yeah, totally different. I love that kind of laid back lifestyle a little bit.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I've never been. I mean, the only time I've been remotely close there was just a stopover in Chicago, and I mean that
Oh,
doesn't even, that doesn't even do it justice because I mean you
No.
don't see
No.
anything.
Nope.
So I've never been to the Midwest.
No, and you're not missing a lot. You're really not missing a lot.
Well, I mean, a lot of people up here will say that about traveling through
True.
Canada and the provinces, and
True.
as soon as you hit like, Winnipeg or sorry Manitoba and Saskatchewan, and then Alberta, it's like it's just cold, man. It's open and it's like nothing but tumbleweeds.
That's actually I traveled for work, and that's kind of the way I would experience every state.
Every state.
Yeah, we're so used to. Well, I haven't been to every state. Okay, I'll take that back. I've traveled at least from the East Coast to the West Coast and various states, and every state I visited, you got the Education's really bad, but the people are happy. What does that say? I can't tell you, but it's quite a difference when you travel outside of your own little bubble and you realize that everything's not like the big city at all. Everything exists really from Chicago, and the northern suburbs is a different world compared to everything else when you start coming out of that.
Well, that's the thing. When people visit these places, they go to the big city where
Hmm.
the havoc is, where
Yeah, yeah.
the crime and
Hmm.
all the pollution and the dirtiness and all the problems that most people see on the news and all this
Yeah.
kind of shit, but they never travel outside those areas.
No, no. Even when I've traveled for work, you have to take the time to go out there. Otherwise, you don't have time. It's understandable you don't have time. But lucky for those instances, for me, I was able to travel a little bit, as well as work and kind of see some things. But literally, I was staying in hotels and within the area, a few miles, maybe 10 miles the most. I kind of in some instances traveled, and that was about it. And you're not going to see much in 10 miles, from a major city or whatever. So you really do, like when I went to Colorado, beautiful state, like beautiful, and you go to the main, I've been to Colorado Springs, a few other cities. There's obviously Boulder. But when you go outside, it's beautiful. You see waterfalls, beautiful mountain landscapes, open area, and besides it just being that, it's beautiful. There's not a lot of people out there, but it's just beautiful to see. And again, you really have to travel. I think I found a park where you could just camp. Unlike here in Illinois, you have to pay to camp in a state park.
Yeah.
Out there, you could just set up tent along the stream. Good luck if a bear gets you, but you could do it. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful, and it is quite a difference from what out of anything I could say. Even some of the stuff we talk about, including the paranormal. When he steps outside the bubble, you kind of see things at a different perspective, and it's really changed a lot for myself. Traveling and stuff.
Most people, these guys that come out of the big city and they go to, the wilderness, if you will. They got their guns and all this kind of shit. And like you said, that I hope they better not encounter a bear, and hope for the best when they shoot the bear. Oh yeah, no problem. I got my gun. And find out that the shooting the bear really just irritates it.
Yeah, it makes it worse. Yeah, seriously. I would try to wrestle the bear myself, just if I had to.
Well, yeah, sure, why not? Just to do some somersaults, flip it over. Yeah, hey.
Yeah, my Wolverine instincts are gonna kick out.
I mean, there's nothing like watching these videos where like these cyclists and all this kind of shit are being chased by bears, and they poop out, they get off the bike and they run and hope for the best. It's like, dude, you got off your bike, you're stupid.
You should stay on that. Yeah, they're pretty fast.
Oh man, are they ever?
I've seen the videos with the trees, them crawling up trees in literally seconds, zipping up and down. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and they tell you to climb a tree.
Don't do it. I mean, maybe you get to the highest and the bear doesn't care, but at the way I've seen bears climb, I don't want to. I just want to keep running.
I mean, what's your best bet? Plain dead?
Probably, yeah.
But what if it's really hungry?
I mean, you probably have like an 80% chance either way, but at least. Plain dead, you give yourself a little bit of a +1 to
because it probably just get bored, right?
Of course.
Yeah, okay.
After it knocks you around a couple of times.
Yeah. Yeah, actually it knocks you unconscious.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I say just, when the bear gets close, just let one rip. Hopefully the spell will just deter it.
Yeah. Might have a problem there.
And that's when you prepare for eating burritos.
Hey, you never know. Burritos could save your life one day.
Yeah, make sure you have a couple extra hiding away in your jacket or something. Yeah, here you go, buddy.
Full circle from eating them beans.
Yeah, beans to burritos. So anyways, hey Sunshine, how are you? Yeah. So what's new, Justin? It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. Just I've been doing all sorts of things. A lot of interesting personal things have been going on. But you know, those are life lessons in some sense. Not leaving your stuff in a car in the city. Speaking of big city,
What?
excuse me. We a few weeks ago, actually, first November,
Mhm.
we went out for a nice little day to the museum, and our car was broken into.
Oh
So they,
wow.
yeah, they took my Ghostbusters computer bag. Actually, I'm wearing a Ghostbusters shirt my mom got me because I saw Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you guys catch that out yet,
Not
or
I
yet.
haven't seen it yet. I really
No.
want to see it.
it's something. And that's a big update. Ghostbusters Afterlife. uh, I would most definitely tell people to check it out. But I, you know, they handled things fairly well, but I was a little let down. Just a little bit. You know, it's still a pass for me, but most definitely was expecting something different. And we'll see. We'll see what they do with the next. But hey. I actually may be doing a podcast on a full review of that. So, you know, keep in touch with me. Check that out. We'll have a couple of us guys doing a Duel Geeks on a full review of the Ghostbusters Afterlife. Uh,
Ghostbusters.
yeah, yeah, which my favorite stuff. That's what practically got me into the paranormal is literally Ghostbusters is one of those linchpins in a sense is having that movie, the cartoons, everything was really like the foundation for the paranormal for me. And then of
Mm.
course everything that followed after that. But yeah,
So you want to have
uh,
Slimer as a pet, in other words.
of course I have
Imagine that.
Slimer.
Imagine that.
I
Imagine
have a
having a real
Slimer as a pet.
Slimer as a pet.
It would be fun. It would. He
and
just
and
you got to make sure he doesn't slime everything. Of course, maybe put some doggy pads down here and there. But
and having those ectoplasma blasting guns.
yeah.
So what
Or
happens when Slimer throws up? What does he throw up?
he ecto cooler, high C
Ecto-
ecto
Right.
cooler,
Okay.
and that's how I get my ecto cooler. I get me a Slimer and forever ecto cooler till the day I die.
Nice.
Yeah, Sunshine says borers. Yeah, we've got some of those damn things loose now here.
What's that?
Boars.
Slimers?
Boars.
No, yeah, no.
Wild
Slimers
boars.
too, but boars.
Oh, wild boars. Yeah, that gets pretty bad in the south for sure.
It's really bad here now, especially well in Ontario because they basically brought them in to sort of enriching the pig population, if you will, and that sort of went fucking backwards.
Oh, they populate it, right?
Yeah, and now they've broken loose, and now they're chaotic. They're eating up all the cornfields
Jeez.
and creating havoc. And
Well, corn's
yeah,
really not that good for you anyway. So I mean, that's not a bad thing totally, but
well, wild corn's not bad. It depends. Is it genetically altered corn? I don't
nah.
know. Corn.
All corn is a delivery system for salt, pepper, everything else.
Is that what it is?
That's all it is for me.
But it tastes so damn
if you
good.
what if you eat it just like El Natural?
Oh, au natural, you just kind of poop it right back out. I mean, you don't even
Well,
digest corn. You don't even
corn
digest corn.
corn is a good source of fiber.
I don't know about that.
Justin, what a great source of fiber is, and we're talking about for both fibers that is, and that's whole psyllium husk.
What is that?
Whole psyllium husk.
That sounds like a mushroom.
No, it's an actual it's a type of fiber like a fibrous wheat,
Okay.
and basically it's probably the best known source, one of the best known sources. And I actually take a tablespoon of this a day because my father, I learned from my father who had bowel cancer.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
when I was young, actually, I was probably in my late 20s, and I said, "Look, it man, I don't want to end up like that."
Yeah, yeah.
So I did some research and I found whole psyllium husk.
Okay.
And let me tell you, man, you really need to time it good
Mhm.
because it keeps you very very regular.
See, I'm moving closer because this is interesting to me. Because I'm doing
Uh,
something with my bowels, and yeah, I could use a little help here. in there.
That's what happens when you have too many
and-
burritos, Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
No,
but-
too many hot wings. That's probably what it is.
Oh, hot wings are so good.
That'll
I mean,
destroy your digestive tract.
Most people will tell you, "Oh, go after Metamucil." Bullshit.
Oh yeah,
No-
even my
nope.
doctor. Yeah, he mentioned that.
Yeah, that's the processed form of
That's the
best.
tang form of fiber, right? Tang. Do you
Yeah,
remember tang?
but go to a homeopath or go to a health food store or whatever.
Okay.
Actually, most places I found it quite readily available in the U.S. when I was down there.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It's called whole psyllium husk, and I think a lot of it's made in India now.
Okay.
So you know
India's
what
one
else
of
has
the-
fiber?
What?
It's readily available. Cardboard boxes.
Oh,
Pulp. It's
Yeah,
pulpy fiber.
yeah.
that does sound delicious. I
It does.
mean, it
Just-
reminds me of a pretzel.
Just add a little bit of hot sauce and you're good to go.
Oh no, we can't. We can't have the hot sauce. We talked about that.
Oh, you're done with hot sauce? No hot sauce for you now?
I gotta take it easy on it. I don't know if it's the cause of certain things, but most definitely, and it sucks because I'm Hispanic, so I'm literally eating Chile things all the freaking time in my foods, and yeah, so I gotta tone it down just a little bit, just a little bit.
Sunshine says she eats it with her
Oatmeal.
with oatmeal, and I
Another good
actually
source of fiber.
well, yeah, I actually what I do is I just mix it in with a glass of just a small glass of OJ.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will use water and just swirl it in there and just down it, because what happens is the whole psyllium husk gels right up, and that's what it's supposed to do.
Okay.
So when you digest it, it automatically gels up and it sticks to the digestive wall.
Okay.
And basically what it does is it acts as a scraper, and it gets rid of all the spackle and all that bullshit, you know.
It's really like a Drano for your stomach.
Exactly.
Holy
Yeah,
heck.
it's actually it's so amazing. It's
That does sound safer than drinking Drano.
oh fuck.
Ah.
But you gotta like I said, it's very deadly. You have to make sure you're close to the washroom.
Oh wow, wow, that's
No,
good to know.
I'm not kidding you, man.
Oh, wow, okay.
Until you get used to it,
Okay.
because you literally, when you start taking it, bang, right away.
Okay.
But when you get used to it usually takes about 12 hours.
Mhm.
When you first start taking it, usually takes 12 hours before it kicks in. But when you get used to it, it usually takes maybe a couple hours.
Okay. So you're already pooping for a couple hours, you're saying?
No, it literally, dude, this has got to be the most awkward fucking conversation, but it cleans you right out. It
Good.
cleans all the crap out. Like whatever you have in your system, it cleans it right out.
I want to let everybody know, for years I have never felt empty, and if this
Well, yeah.
See, now I could play a sound effect that will be very fitting to this
Well,
conversation,
you can.
but I'm gonna behave.
so thank you, Steve. Nocturnal frequency.
There's a reason why we call it that.
Yeah.
That's the other problem. Now,
Yeah.
do we want to get into that problem too? No. That's another problem that you have to worry about when you get older, eh?
Yeah. Look at him.
Yeah, so some people say chia seeds too. I've
Oh
experimented
yeah, we got chia. Yeah.
with chia seeds too.
I like the chia. I like the chia
Yeah.
seeds. I do plan on making my own chia pet eventually. Have we thought about maybe chia pets inside our stomachs with the chia seeds? Does that work at all? Do you know? That would be interesting. That'd be like a whole new thing to do.
Why would you want a chia pet inside your stomach?
Why not? We got Chia Pet. Also got Chia Pet Scooby Doo's, Chia Pet, Ninja Turtles, and all sorts of things. Let's go to the inside and have a floral thing going on. It's a whole. I could see this working. It's the future.
It helps your digestive. Oh my god, digestive tract. Wow.
I think he's had
gotta
too
get
many whole psyllium husks.
you have to get that flora like flowing, you know.
Yeah, get that green flora going in the
The
stomach.
flora flowing. uh, you replace the flora, or sorry, you replace those Tums and Rolaids with flora.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what I was a little surprised. The doctor's like, yeah, you just go get this stuff off the shelf, and I was like, you really don't think that I should just do something a little more natural? No, just get some Metamucil and this, and you're good. And it's just like, I don't know.
You see, and that's the
Yeah, it's
easy
easy.
cop
Yeah,
out. I mean,
yeah,
and don't get me wrong, it Metamucil does work, but there's so many additives
of course.
and stuffs in that now. It's not the way it used to be.
Well,
Um,
realistically, we really shouldn't be having these problems, or as it is. When I was learning this stuff, it's a very common. We all have this problem essentially. Everyone has this
yeah,
problem to a
everyone,
varying degree, you know. But it's obviously what we're eating, what we're intaking, et cetera, et cetera. And it really has been an eye opener. Not saying I'm totally eating healthy. I have been already eating healthy for years, but now it's like maybe I need to focus more on some things. But it does open your eyes to everything, because as easy for me, it's like, man, I'm dealing with something, and to find out other people are dealing with it makes me less special. No.
I don't feel so special anymore.
No, it's opened my eyes to like how bad this is really on like a larger scale when you think about it. How really unhealthy we got. Our gut is unhealthy, which adds to a lot of things in our lives. Even all the doctors like how much stress affects you. And I just was blown away, by far, just the evidence that they were showing me and telling me, all these different things that just affect your gut, that affect everything else. And then you never know. Now you got, a tumor growing, and its name is Jeff, and now it's got to get removed. It's just you just don't know these things until you're really kind of looking.
All it is just a roadblock, Justin. Don't worry about it. No, but I mean that's exactly. You're right. Exactly. It's like a lot of things. We take a lot of things for granted, and that
Yeah.
our diets are one of them. I mean, we essentially don't have a diet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, food. Give me food.
Yeah.
Give me pizza. Give me this. Give me that. It's yeah. It really is a killer, and hey, I mean, it's something obviously you don't pay attention until you
Yeah.
get older, or until you start
Yeah.
having problems.
Exactly. That's kind of the situation. All those times that I thought I was invincible, I'm just a little less invincible. And it's still good. I'm still good, but yeah, it kind of opens your eyes to a lot of different stuff that we all should probably be taking into consideration. And it just the stuff that I've been going through has opened the eyes of people around me, my family and everything, because now they're concerned. And now they think about themselves in this way, because if it could happen to me again, people are usually like, if I can't figure out, Justin can figure out. If Justin can get through it, I can get through it. And now I got this, and it's not like debilitating or anything, but it does changes a lot of things for me. And people are like, oh wow, we should really be thinking about this, and everything else that's going on in our lives. And it's really changed a little bit of us, my personal life, where we're trying to take things easier. And I think hopefully that's a new philosophy with a lot of stuff that's going on lately. But it really has been trying to forces us to take it somewhat easier, even though that's really hard to accomplish in this day and age. But
it kind of alludes back to what Alex said. Replacing the burrito with cardboard.
Yep. That's a solution.
Oh man. Okay. Well, okay. Well, we're not gonna. Should we take a break? No, take a break, or wait. What are we gonna do?
It's up to you. We could take a break now and then get into the thicker
throw
things.
a break on. Yeah, throw a break.
We'll take a break. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're gonna get right into the meat and bones of tonight's show. Justin, thanks for coming on, buddy.
Yeah.
It's been a while. It's always great having you back on. And yeah, we'll talk about all sorts of fun stuff coming right up. Don't go anywhere. Wait a sec.
Do you got questions?
Well, we had so much fun here that I forgot to load up all the music.
Look at that.
You know,
I could just do it with my mouth, maybe.
well, you can. You're doing a wonderful job. Keep it up.
Sounds like elevator music.
Go ahead.
You gotta love it, man. This is the reason why we have Justin on the show.
Yep.
The sound effects.
Yeah, you guys are lucky because I haven't been feeling well this week. I'm just starting to get over a little bit, whatever. Alex was gonna know soon, but once you have kids, they're just freaking germ canisters, and it just seems I'm constantly.
Canisters.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
my
at the end of the day,
canisters.
that's no different than me.
pop it
I'm a
open.
germ canister.
Oh, now it's gonna affect you a little bit different. It feels like I'm sick like every other month now because as soon as my kid gets, I want them away from schools or something. I don't know. It's all good for the immune system, but Jesus Christ, one gets sick. I try to stay away from them and do the best I can, and I still get a little something off on the end. But yeah, it's been fun this week. So it's been good that I'm cracking jokes right now.
Before we go here, I forgot to ask Alex, what's the new?
Nothing.
No. I want a natural one, buddy. What's new?
Nothing.
There.
How is it different than what I just played?
Because you can tell it's fake. I'm sorry.
Sorry, I should have moved my mouth so at least it looked like it was me.
Actually,
Exactly.
you should just be doing that for everything, Alex. Just have
Hey,
pre-recorded.
Simon.
Yeah.
Alex.
I just kick back and relax. I'll have like a picture of me just sort of like,
It'd be perfect.
yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's take a quick break here. We're gonna play some outtakes, right? For the YouTube watchers.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. Not right away, but when I come back from outside, I'll play a couple of the outtakes.
We'll play some outtakes for you guys because I know it's kind of boring. We just obviously take the break because of the radio portion on New Visions Radio Network. Because we can't play the music here on YouTube. Whatever. Okay, until we come back, don't go anywhere. You're listening and watching Nocturnal Frequency Radio with our good friend, Justin Villarreal. We'll be right back.
Groundbreaking evidence.
And there goes the tree.
Fat guy knocks over a tree.
And that's the sign.
Extra, extra.
But didn't you guys see something?
See a little face of it. Face.
You saw a face?
Yeah, I guess.
What'd you say? What'd you see?
A face.
Obviously, what we have here is Patrick is the most elaborate ghost storyteller ever. So what happened? It was a ghost. What do you do? Ghost stuff. From the thickness of city air to like I described it earlier as cottage country air.
What's up behind you?
A tree,
No, in the woods.
a bunny rabbit.
Running through the forest there. What's that? Oh, it's a deer.
Yeah, hold on while I fall for that. Oh, let me look. No, I don't see it.
Maybe bang on a tree or make some sort of noise so we can hear. Excuse me.
Is that you, Spirit? Spiritual noises.
Dude! 5150!
Here we go. Here we go. And welcome back to Nocturnal Frequency Radio here live on the New Visions Radio Network. And of course, simulcasting live on our YouTube channel. I love that. Gassy the Woodlock Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
That's what I was just this weekend.
That's what you were.
Yeah,
Just
I was Gassy the Woodlock Ghost.
Gassy the Woodlock Ghost.
All right, you're gonna make me do this, aren't you?
You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. You might as well do it.
Just do it.
Is that what it sounded like?
It sounded like a bucket spilling over.
It did. It sounded like a bucket of beans.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in one of those southern dives, and you know you got the buckets of slaw and beans.
Jesus.
I like my slaw, that's for sure.
Yeah. And then you're tripping on the peanuts on the floor.
Well, I was thinking of tripping another way.
Oh
but-
shit! I can't be in this place. I'm allergic to peanuts. It's nothing like good slaw.
Yeah, I like my
Eh?
coleslaw. I'm a big fan of coleslaw.
So am I.
I wasn't talking about coleslaw.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding. see, look, it punches out at us here. Look at you Canadians and your fart jokes.
Hey.
I know what is it? I mean, it's like
It's one of those things. It's you just got to do it.
It's beautiful. My
Isn't
daughter laughs. She laughs when I do it. It's a joke for us. Seriously.
come on, it's got to be a big thing down at the south of border there in the U.S. There.
Yeah, for me at least, in my house, we laugh about it.
Yeah.
You know, the mom doesn't like it so much, but we still do it. Even she laughs. You know, it is what it is. It's fun.
Hey, it happens. It's a natural thing.
I think the best invention was the fart machine.
Oh yeah, of course. Or the whoopee cushion.
Yeah.
I used to have a few of
Well,
those.
the whoopee cushion was fun, but the fart machine was better. You know, you can remote control it.
Yeah.
You know, I remember one time I was working, I brought it to a Christmas dinner, and I put it underneath my grandmother's chair.
Oh, lovely.
You know, we're all sitting down eating, you know, the ceremonial turkey dinner or whatever, and all of a sudden you're and everyone stops their eating. I go, what the hell? You know, Grady's a little gassy over there, right?
That's bad.
It's better when you put somebody else on the spot, right?
Yeah, it is actually. I was thinking of something funny but bad at the same time that happened fairly recently. My brother had some candies, and my mother
Uh-oh.
was
Where's this one going? As soon as you
Who's-
mention candies, I'm afraid.
yeah, she had some candies. She didn't realize, and she had a fun time without realizing she was having a fun time.
Oh, it's those kind of candies.
Yeah, my mom's like 70 now, I think. So yeah, it was pretty funny when I found out, and she still doesn't know. She doesn't know what happened. She actually called her brother. What were those candies? And he never told her.
Those are some funny candies you
That's
gave
putting
me.
someone on the spot.
As long as she didn't hallucinate, you're okay.
No. What she was like, she was forgetting what she was. Why did I come in this room? She was just, to her, it was just like she thought she was tired. Like luckily it wasn't nothing crazy, but she thought she was just tired, and she was like, "Why am I in this room right now?" And I'm listening to this, and I'm like, and I call my brother up. I'm like, "What?" And he's like, yeah, yeah."
Kevin and Chad, is there a law that you can't fart after 7 p.m. in California? Okay.
I know California's got some crazy laws down there, but I don't know. I don't think that one's one of them.
Well, don't they tax you after every time you fart?
Oh, of course, that's the green.
There's so many fucking taxes down in California now.
It's ridiculous.
Well, that's what happens when you got so much debt,
So
right?
much, a lot of things out there actually.
Well, yeah. You start taxing. I heard some ludicrous. What were they saying? Something about you can't drive an 18-wheeler
Oh,
in California after 2025 unless it's electric.
something like that. They're trying to push some interesting ideas or laws, I guess, for the green stuff. Yeah, it's not. I don't know. I wouldn't be taking advice from California if people know how California's been. And I'm not talking about politically, but just overall, the state of California is just not that great as it is. So literally,
it's a mess, isn't it?
yeah, people literally living on it. You can some areas in Chicago are kind of not as bad as that. I'll tell you, not as bad as that, but literally tent cities in LA from San Francisco all the way, from LA to up north. It's ridiculous.
I mean, I don't think anything beats Skid Row.
Of course. Well, it's
the
classic Skid. Yeah.
It's just incredible. I mean, people don't understand that that's a real thing.
Yeah. It's pretty, just like I said, traveling the United States for work and stuff. I would never believe knowing certain places were literally a third world country, in the United States. Skid Row would be, was it like 5 blocks or something like that? Or I think it's probably longer. I'm sorry.
It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's very close to the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah,
Do you know the Cecil Hotel?
No.
The Cecil Hotel.
Look it up, man. Look it up.
Is notorious for. In fact, I believe a couple serial killers were staying there. The Night Stalker, I think, was one of them. And in fact, that's where. What was her name again?
Lisa Lamb.
Lisa Lamb.
I think it's Elisa Lamb, or anyway.
Elisa Lamb.
Yeah. She's the latest interesting thing to come out of the Cecil Hotel. She was actually a Canadian tourist who had gone down there and was found dead in the water tank on the roof.
On the roof.
Oh, yeah. Now I remember that. Yeah.
But she went missing. They couldn't find her, and then all of a sudden, bang.
Yeah.
They actually, they have a Netflix documentary, Crime Scene: The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah, there was a few of them, man. There was a few of them. We had oh my God, I can't even remember his name. That I don't even think the documentary it hasn't hit the streets at all. I don't even think it was completed. But there, whatever happened to Lisa Lamb was the name of the title of the documentary, but it never happened.
Mm-hmm. They never aired it, or
it never aired. It never, which is weird. Maybe it didn't have the funding or whatever. It was interesting because he was taking it from a sort of a paranormal stance, if you will.
Yeah.
Because I mean, in the beginning, everyone was like, "Oh, this is pretty paranormal."
Yeah.
Whatever happened to her? Wait, based on the infamous video that went viral.
Oh, of her in the elevator or something?
In the elevator of her erratic behavior, and they're trying to decipher it.
Yeah.
You had all these, so-called experts on saying, well, no, she's dimensional, or she's this, or
she's talking to something, or
she's talking to somebody, and she sees something, demonic. She's possessed. There's all sorts of shit.
Yeah. That's I kind of wish possessions were as crazy as that, because I'd love to get into possession business where we're literally casting out demons and whatnot in some crazy way. But as far as I can tell, when I hear possessions, even in this case, it's never anything like that at all. It's never exactly anything about demons or anything of that sort. It's usually mental illness when it comes down to it.
Simon, yeah, one did air on Netflix, but it wasn't the same documentary.
Yeah, this is the one you're talking about. The guy, we actually had him on the show.
We had him on the show.
Yeah, he was working on a documentary on it as well, but that never aired.
It never aired. No, it unfortunately didn't go. It didn't make it, unfortunately. But the one on Netflix was pretty cool. But yeah, that was entirely different. A bunch of people that put that together. Yeah, strange case. Even so, even though they found her and everything else, but just overall, I mean, if anybody knows anything, the history of the hotel, I mean, it's had quite a history with unusual events unfolding there.
Let's go stay there.
I'd love to stay there. I think I'd give it a shot.
The three of us. We could be the three amigos.
Yeah.
We'll walk in with giant burritos in our hands.
You'll fit right in, actually.
It's funny because I went on Google Earth and I looked at the hotel from Google Earth, and then, of course, I had to go just, scan down a little bit and check out Skid Row and do a street level on Skid Row. Oh, my God. It is fucking scary. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah,
and this is obviously before COVID. I mean, imagine what it is like now. It's probably doubled.
Well, they were saying that especially the things that are going on in LA and Oregon, all over the place. Here in Chicago, I could tell you, it looks like it has exploded since the whole COVID thing of seeing tent cities. But it was already, from what I understand, I think it was around 2016 or so. Is when it became a little, well, Skid Row's always been Skid Row, but what's been going on recently, it started to build, and then COVID just added to that. In the last basically 2 years now that we've been involved with COVID for almost 2 years. So, it really has not helped with the situation at all. Which says a lot about what's going on, out here, at least, with the details and how our government's handling it.
No matter how anyone looks at the COVID situation, I don't care if you're anti-vaxxer, vaxxer, anti-mask. I don't give a shit. I'm not even going to get into that. But the fact is, it's changed us, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter how you look at it, it has changed the world completely.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you believe it or not, or how your standpoint on it, I don't care. The fact is, when they said the normal's gone, it's true. I mean, normality is gone as we knew it, no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's become part of everyday conversation. I have clients myself, are you vaccinated? Luckily, they don't push me, and I have been tested, because of various reasons I have been tested, a few times already. It's becoming a factor. I think we were, for my birthday earlier in November, we were going to go out, and one of the places required a vaccine, and I'm indifferent, of course. Obviously, we can get in a whole hour-long conversation about everything, but I'm indifferent about it. And this is something I was going to talk about on my show. I among other things that are going, I haven't done a show recently for various reasons, but I was about to do one this week until kind of things messed my schedule up. But, overall, it's... It's interesting to see what we're seeing out of it. Now, the whole vaccination thing is more interesting because it's hitting me a little personally. My son's mother, she's having issues with her. She's a teacher, and she's not vaccinated. We talked about it previously, I want to say. Her father is basically a general physician in Europe, and he advised her not to get it. She's been fine. They've both been fine, but other people have been getting it in her school. And as of recently, the people that have gotten it are the people that have gotten it and spread it are people who have been vaccinated with booster shots already. And on a sad note, again, this could be an hour-long discussion. I'm just giving it brief, and I'm not this. Hopefully, it's just something for you guys to chew on. Anyone listening, one of the families, which just happened recently. The husband of one of the teachers, both the wife and the husband, they both were infected after getting the vaccine, of course. And I believe the booster shot that they recently had, the vaccine was earlier this year. He died. He died of COVID. She's not sure how the school's going to handle a lot of things now because of that. And she's mad the way the school's been treating her. because they're pushing the vaccine. But in the school, the people who have been vaccinated are the ones that have been coming up COVID positive, and just recently. So she's
Well, don't you kind of equate that to like when you have such a large population now that's been infected already,
Sure.
even if you're going to get vaccinated, of course it's going to happen.
Sure, and there's some things, and some of the stuff that I take into consideration is coming from people in the medical field that I've been talking with, and of course I would say the discussion itself, as anyone can see, is pretty much 50-50. But the mutual thing is just that it should be up to us to an extent. And again, this whole discussion could be a whole. We could talk about it all night with the certain factors involved. But I think the only thing I would want to say, or at least someone to take away from at least the things that I brought up recently, is to really think about it. Don't listen to one side that says don't get it, and don't listen to the people that say do get it. Most definitely. I've had enough experiences in my life that make me question a lot of things. More specifically, I'll add on to that, which for me encompasses my mindset about a lot of things, including how I even go about paranormal experiences. I question everything. So my son's mother.
you have to question everything. I get that, and you do. Like I'll tell you right now, I'll flat out tell you, Justin, I'm not going to go get a booster shot until they can tell me that this booster shot is going to say protect me against the Omicron.
And a lot of people are actually feeling they've gotten the shot already, but now they're saying, is it really going to be worth it now? And
that's what I mean. I'm not. Why do I need to get a third shot if I know, until I know absolutely that it's going to be effective against,
let alone
Omicron or whatever.
We now
that's
know,
the way I look. I mean,
yeah. You just overall have to take it. We now know that the shots are not necessarily foolproof. When they originally talked about it, it was like foolproof. Now it's like a 70% chance.
They never said it was foolproof. They've never said that. They've said, if anything, that it's going to lessen the blow.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's what it is. They never
the
stated that you were not going to get infected. It's just it reduces the risk of you getting seriously ill and or dying. Not 100%, because it has happened where people.
I mean, there are people who have underlying issues that even if they do get vaccinated, if anything, it might help them. It may not.
It may not, and that's true. That's the main point, even for this discussion. That I want people to take away, because I've been enough in the middle myself to just be like, there's a little bit of everything. That's all you have to take about it, is a little bit of everything. Personally, for me, I've dealt with enough medical stuff, not with me, but with dealing with people, where you should be taking things into a second opinion. I've known people who were diagnosed with certain things for years until they got a second opinion, and those diagnoses changed with, a separate set of treatment. So you can't take all things you should take everything with a grain of salt. There we go. As much as you can. And really in the end, it really is up to us to really decide what we should do with ourselves. But at the same time, we live in a society. And there's certain things we do got to take into precaution with dealing with certain things like this, minus maybe the conspiracy theories that are out there and other things that are going on, and literally some of the things that show how our governments fail on us. Though we do have to take into consideration, because we know people have died now. I know personally, besides our mutual friend of ours, of people who've died now because of COVID in their 30s. So I do take this very seriously, but I still question things, But don't be out there like those people who are literally forcing you not to take the vaccine or forcing you to take the vaccine.
It's always good to question. You have to question your situation. You have to look at your situation, obviously.
Yeah.
But you also have to take into consideration, and this is the way I look at it.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to argue with anybody. I'm not going to force my opinion upon anyone, because that's not me. I look at you guys have your beliefs, I have mine, whatever. The way I look at it is, we live in a society that is, many of us in a highly populated area.
Yeah.
And if you choose not to get vaccinated and you say, look, that's fine. That's about me, whatever. And that's exactly what it is. It's about me. It's an individual sort of, right. And I get that. I mean, we all do have rights. We do. But as a collective, and we are living here on, unfortunately, the way I look at it, unfortunately, because I'm telling you, I can't deal with people on several aspects on a day-to-day life, because I mean, people just baffle me
Yeah.
at the amount of fucking stupidity there
Yeah.
is, you know. But I mean, collectively, we have to live together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I'm going to do this, knowing rightfully that I'm going to save somebody close to me, then I'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I am an individual, but I'm also someone who's for the greater good. I'm aware of the greater good of things.
Right.
I really do feel like when people tell me this, they argue with me. Again, I'm indifferent. So the people, who bring these up to me, you're going to get a certain point of view from it.
like like
But
I'll
I
be
tell people real quick. I tell people, we worry in this day and age about STDs. I know this is a really tough subject for some. It's the same thing about that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go around. Of course, I'm not, but maybe one day. You never know. But you do your best to prevent those situations. And I feel that's still the same thing about dealing with COVID and everything else. You take medicine. I've been vaccinated by other things. I'm a personally, whatever. I'm not going to get into it personally. I'm a little indifferent about the COVID vaccine specifically, but I understand what needs to happen. And you're right, though. People, they don't have that. Not people, but
it's
they
the
have a certain
problem.
awareness, in that
The
sense.
problem is, if I want to be in look at if I want to if to be an individual, I have to go live
Yeah.
in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
In this day and
Yeah.
age,
Yeah.
to be an individual, to be off the grid, that's how you have to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
Unfortunately, when you live in the city, in the suburbs, whatever, it's very difficult to be an individual.
Yeah.
It really is, because collectively, you're working with people, you're socializing with people, you're out at the mall, all these sorts of things, all these factors playing. But anyways, what I wanted to say, I don't want to harp too much on this. I don't even
Of
want to
course.
talk.
I do. Well, I
But
enjoy the
the one,
conversation in the chat at least. They're
I
at
know
least, yeah.
the one thing that drives me insane, and I'm going to be fucking brutally honest here.
Yeah.
When you got fucking idiots who come and post comments, and I'm going to be brutally honest here, with a mutual friend of ours who passed away, Gareth, and they sit there and in their comment and they go, it was the fucking respirator that killed Gareth.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you fucking hear comments like that, it pisses me off.
Yeah.
You're an ignorant piece of shit.
Yeah. There's a lot of assumptions. You can't. Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. 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 I'm aware of those, why they're saying that, but yeah, you can't. Well, there's many things that pissed me off about that whole situation too. That made me very angry with the way people outside of that handled that, and it opened my eyes too about the greater narrative about everything that we're dealing with. Because it's not really, when you think about it, what we're dealing with COVID is just a microcosm of everything else we're dealing with, of the indifferences between us, even in our case of talking about certain subjects with, spiritual experiences. So it's literally the same thing. It's just blown more out of proportion because of, like, I agree with some of the people talking about the government, the way the government handled a lot of things. I agree that didn't help with the situation at all. But most definitely, you gotta at least try not to take one side. You got to do your best to at least find some medium ground
Well,
when
you
dealing
do.
with this.
You have with anything in life, you have to look at the medium ground. You have to look at both sides, no matter what. And you know what? Take the political aspects out of it, because
Yeah,
once you get suckered into a political fucking side, you're screwed.
yeah, yeah.
You're just
That's
absolutely screwed when you politicize something, it's all over.
yeah,
It
yeah,
really is.
yeah.
You know, especially when you have only when you like down in the states down there, obviously you got two parties, right?
yeah, yeah.
I mean, you're either for one, you're either or, you're not in between. I mean,
Well, I'm in between, but
no, I'm just saying though, right?
it also
I
like
mean,
being in
here,
between them today. I mean,
I mean, here we're screwed. We got all sorts of fucking parties, but
of
I mean,
course,
whatever. But
yeah,
still, I mean, there's relatively two main parties, but I mean, you have all these little splinter groups that seem to wreak havoc. But anyways, enough. Um, uh, for those about we were talking about Eliza Lamb earlier in the hotel and all that. Who we had on the show was Jake Anderson, and the name of the documentary was called "What Happened to Eliza Lamb." Unfortunately, it never came to air. Jake Anderson was the person who was putting it together and directed it and all that. Anyways, if you want to listen to the show, it's in our archives in the Nocturnal Vaults there here on the YouTube channel. Really cool show. I mean, Jake really did, and I remember Jake really did an amazing job with the research. So that's the name of the documentary that never happened, unfortunately.
oh yeah, Sunshine. It is H.H. Holmes is in the hotel. The building it built is in Chicago. I believe it's it was on the south side. If I was
Yeah, I remember that. She brought up or Sunshine brought it up earlier. Have you heard about the other strange hotel built in Old by cannibals and killers? Yeah, so that's the H.H. Holmes one.
Yep, yep. Some good stuff. Chicago's got some good serial killers, guys.
Yeah.
What we got? H.H. Holmes, John Wayne Gacy. Oh God, who's the guy that killed a bunch of nurses? I forget his name. We're really up there. Illinois is really up there.
Yeah, you're on the map.
Yeah, I don't know what's in it in Illinois.
Well, it's like you said, it's a Midwest. It's got shitty weather in the winter.
Yeah.
It's like much like here, right?
Yeah. It messes with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually just watching something about the axe murder house. How that area there were.
Valiska?
Yeah, Valiska.
Yeah.
They were. Oh God, what was it? It was a YouTube video. It was going more to the historical part, but they brought up the axe murder house, and they were saying that during that time, how the community was. They were saying that it leads to those types of things. The craziness of how a person can already split whatever that is, break from whatever normal path it is to start murdering people. And it was really interesting how the town themselves are actually tired of the stories of the Valiska axe murder house.
Well, I know for the longest time they really they exploited the crap out of that house.
Of course. Oh my God, yes.
And I don't know how many paranormal groups and para celebrities went in there and said, oh yeah, it really. It's like a lot of places. I mean, it's one of those places like on the same level as say Waverly Hills.
Yeah.
And they're literally making money and sucked it dry.
Yeah. And you don't get a lot of famous things that come out of Valiska anymore. There's nothing that I've known that hits. None of these places like that have happened. To really bring out any new information, new evidence, nothing new at all. Seriously.
Well, it really would be nice to a lot of these locations that are popular, if you will, and to give them a proper investigation.
Yeah.
A bare bones grassroots investigation. And I get it. A lot of these locations, they need the money, obviously, to stay afloat. You know, places like I mentioned Waverly Hills and
Yep.
Villisca and Rolling Hills.
Oh yeah.
Rolling Hills I've been to a couple times. You know,
The Ohio State Prison. That was
Ohio
another one.
State,
Or
Mansfield,
reformatory, as they call it.
Mansfield.
Mansfield. Yeah.
You know, these places are, oh, hey, I got to go check it out, but you never have the opportunity to give them a proper investigation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're paying, hundreds of dollars just to get in there.
Yeah.
And then right away, they literally feed your brain with all the shit that's happened there.
Yep.
So you're automatically your thinking is contaminated with garbage and jargon. It's like, okay, and that's what happened with Waverly. When I remember going down to Waverly years ago, and we lucked out. We got in. We have private investigation, thankfully, because I knew somebody. And right away, one of the security guards just started, feeding us with garbage.
Yep, I remember that. I think I mentioned that too. Right when you started Waverly, it's a whole thing. Oh, the group last week found this, and this. I don't know if you got it, but there's a monkey demon or something like that that's running around.
Oh, so they call him Big Black.
Something, yeah.
Big Black. Did you
A
see
monkey
Big Black?
demon?
The whole
like
area just goes black. It's like, really?
I might have that recorded somewhere on one of my either digital audio files or the video I taken. But yeah, they mentioned about some monkey demon that hung around the first floor, if I remember correctly.
Oh, probably.
Something like that, yeah.
What does it do? Is it like swing by the pipes?
yeah, swing it off the... No, man, it was a specific area they said they saw him in. You go down one of the main hallways because they saw...
Speaking of monkeys.
Look at that. That's how you see the demons. Oh, it's Donkey Kong. Look at that.
Yeah, well, the big thing about Waverly when we went was I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you were infected with it too, Justin. Is Timmy the boy Timmy?
Maybe. There was quite a handful of stories they told us for sure. The monkey demon is the one that stuck out the most for me. Seriously, but I think I did hear something about a little boy ghost before.
Yeah, and they stuck it. Monkey demon.
Yeah, and I think part of the problem with the monkey demon is it throws its feces at you.
It's ectoplasm.
Yeah,
ecto shit.
Actually, I would love to catch some ecto shit. That would be great scientific evidence.
Shit.
Oh, I had a fun time at Waverly. I remember it being calm. I think the most weirded I was the children's ward, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that was freaky. Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason that had the most weird feeling. But when I went with Ursula, even though we didn't really go.
Really?
We didn't go together.
Okay.
But we did go together, which was, whatever. That's a long story, but
come on, it's long. We want to hear it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing bad. We just ended up doing our own thing essentially. And what I remember, she was impressed that it was just me and my partner at the time, James. I literally carried the equipment on us. It was just us two, and we had cameras and everything ready. So I would set it up. And I would have a camera down a hallway and then another camera down the other end. And if we had the third camera, it would be in a room somewhere. And we literally would leave the area for an hour, maybe more. Or I'm sorry, maybe a little less because I think we had 8 hours there. So it was a very short on time to do all that. And we would just leave them and let it run without us there. And then, if people pay attention, you do your best to announce yourself in any audio recording or any video recording. So yeah, don't get it confused with any other noises you hear. So if I was in the area, I would announce that. Again, haven't checked all the footage, but nothing came up, But by far, I remember just being there and I was like, this would be a really awesome place for some raves, because we were on the balcony and it was, Kentucky's beautiful in its own way.
It is. Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
some areas not so much, but overall it's most definitely beautiful. And where Waverly is at is like a beautiful spot, to be
Oh
honest with
yeah,
you. Uh,
amazing spot.
you are by a highway, but it's kind of secluded before. I forget the city that's close. I forget what it's another kind of a major city there.
All I remember is just off the Dixie Highway.
Yeah, and you go off, you come right off it, and
Mhm.
it's kind of hidden. If you don't know anything, it's literally hidden off a driveway.
Yep.
It was very creepy driving up to it.
Oh yeah,
And then you come up to that building, and it's an open area from what I remember. But then you see the
very
building,
open.
yeah, and it's surrounded by trees. But when we were on the balcony late at night, early in the morning, to be honest, I think we finished around 7, so we must start around 9 or something, something like that. 6 or 7, we finished somewhere around there. And during the midnight, somewhere in the morning, or early morning there, it was just beautiful to look over the balcony and just kind of, and all the windows are gone too, but you're just looking out, concrete. The balcony's concrete. If you've never seen it, it's like a concrete building, almost, if I could relate to it, almost like the evil Shandor building from Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
The structure is kind of archaic. It's really interesting. There's most definitely more detailed asylums, but Waverly has like a certain presence to it that I've never
Oh yeah,
experienced.
absolutely.
And it just being concrete on the balcony and the way everything's just kind of uniformed and looking out, it was very surreal. And by far, nothing crazy happened to me. And again, I have to say, I think the children's ward was probably the creepiest of the areas. But after a while, I was walking freely. I wasn't, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I get a little scared in dark places because you don't know what you're running into. I've been in enough dark places to know that maybe someone might pop out. That's not,
Well, you don't
ghost.
know if there's any transients in there.
Yeah.
I mean they do have the now well the main floor, and
Yeah.
I think it was the main floor and the floor above have windows on them, but the
Yeah.
upper floors don't have any windows.
No.
And yeah, you know what? It was I think the best part was up on the roof.
I never
You
got to
know,
go to the roof. Wow.
oh wow, up on the roof, it was just absolutely serene, dude. Just seeing Kentucky, Louisville at night. It was absolutely beautiful. I mean, of course, we went. It was August, and it was fucking hot.
Oh,
It was so hot.
we went. It was I forget when, but it was in the summer as well. And
Yeah, it was like an inferno, man.
Yeah.
It was just so awesome though.
Yeah.
And you know, I think one of the things was to one of the dares was that could you walk from one point to the next on
Yeah.
one of the floors by yourself in the complete dark.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was like a challenge, and I said, yeah, I'll do it. Fuck it,
You go.
I'll
You
give it a
can,
shot.
because depending on the night that I was on, again, in the summer, I believe it was almost a full moon, very,
Yeah,
close to a full moon. It was very bright.
yeah.
We didn't use our flashlights a lot. Well, at least
Well, it
me,
was very
James, and
bright.
I.
Us, yeah,
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 we didn't use our flash. I literally let our eyes adjust, and I think
yep.
that may play a little bit into what some people see, but for sure, it was the moon lit a lot of the hallways, which surprised
Oh
me a
yeah.
lot. Seriously, it was, and that made it beautiful too.
But
But yeah, go ahead.
one of the highlights though, when we were there, we had rigged one of the rooms where it was said that Timmy would play with toys and stuff. We rigged it with this huge rubber ball, heavy rubber ball, and we set it on top of a quarter, and we put a circle around it. We had a couple of the closed circuit cameras on the area on the ball, and then we were doing an EVP session in the
Hmm.
next room, and I think we got like at least 4 hours of footage
Yeah.
of the ball alone. 4 different cameras, or sorry, 2 different cameras, trained on this in this room on the ball, and every time we checked on the ball, it hasn't moved.
Yeah.
Nothing's happening. Got home, reviewed all the footage. We literally had 4 or 5 hours worth of footage from 4 different cams. Or I think it was 4 or 5 cams. I can't remember. Anyways, going through the two cams in that room, and what had happened, what was really freaky was the fact that we captured that ball moving.
Jeez.
So the ball leaves the quarter and playfully, circles around like something's playing with the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to remember, it's stagnant. It's like a fucking oven in that place. There's no wind, nothing. It's still.
Yeah, it's true.
It's so hauntingly still. It's incredible. And this thing's playing, rolling around, and all of a sudden you see in the frame of people walking by the room, the ball stops. And then, the people leave, the frame, and then the ball starts up again. And then all of a sudden you watch the ball returns to the quarter. It sits back on top of the quarter.
Jesus.
All captured. I actually have it on YouTube, I believe.
I would love to get something like that.
It is fucked. It's one of the most fucked up things I've ever experienced, dude.
Jeez, seriously, that would creep me out a little bit, especially after you put it down, you leave it, and it goes right back to the spot you had it at.
And the whole time you think this thing hasn't moved, because
Yeah.
every time you go to check on it, it's still in the same position.
That's pretty freaky.
I know.
Seriously.
We're gonna take a break here, I guess. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna talk more about this stuff and more. Because Justin, I know you've had
I got
quite
some
a
stories.
quite a lot of stories. Considering this quite unique the unique times we're living in right now.
Yeah.
Sunshine, I will put the link in chat for you to see that. Of course, unfortunately, I can find it. It's not a problem. It's here on YouTube, on my personal channel, and unfortunately, because it's CCTV, the footage, and we're talking about years ago. This is what 2000. I believe it was 2007. So you kind of get adjust at seeing the ball moving playfully and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people say, I can't really see too much, but hey, whatever. I'll post a link in chat for you guys to see that. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you know what? Hey,
What?
Alex, you think you can get that clip that I sent to our chat earlier this week?
Which one are you talking about?
The one with my cat. Yeah, I'm going to talk about it a little later, but if you can get it.
I'll try to get it.
If you can't, not a big deal. Either way.
Okay, let's take a short break. When we come back, more of this, and Justin is going to talk a little bit of some chaotic communication. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Nocturnal Frequency. Yeah, you're listening to Nocturnal and watching Nocturnal Frequency Radio here on the New Visions Radio Network, and of course, simulcasting live on our YouTube channel. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Nocturnal Frequency Radio here live on the New Visions Radio Network. And of course, simulcasting live on our YouTube channel. I want to thank everybody for tuning in or watching us, however you're catching the show. We always appreciate you stopping by and,
You like that, Sunshine? Thank you. Yeah, I got to say, some of the gruesome stuff that I see. Yeah, you can read about H.H. Holmes, but pick
I
a
have
book
to.
down the internet, you'll find something.
We have to apologize to Punches for the long break, but this is what happens when Alex eats burritos.
Yep.
No, I was not me.
Takes
I
a
was not
whole
talking about the break.
Uh,
roll of toilet paper.
The whole roll of toilet paper. Okay, so where were we? Okay, we were talking about Waverly.
Yeah. We're talking about all sorts, but yeah, we're talking about Waverly.
I did put the link out there. I don't know. Did the link show up in chat?
No, it didn't show up.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It
Let's
did.
double check.
It did show up.
No, it didn't.
Okay, so it's not letting me post it.
So send it to me. I'll see if I can post it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Otherwise, send it to me. Send it to the group, and I'll try to post it too.
You could probably do it here. Let me. Okay, here we go. There you go. Okay, there. Sent it to you, Alex.
All right. See if I can post it.
It probably has a thing against posting links, I guess. I don't know.
There it goes. It's there.
I don't see anything.
I see it.
I'm gonna refresh. I see it now. Yeah, I see it now too.
Oh, there it is. So, Sunshine, there's the link for the Waverly Ball that we discussed. Again, like I said, the video is not the best. Again, this is security at its finest in 2007. Scary.
But
true.
the link's not working.
What do you mean the link's not working?
If you click it,
It
it's
opened
going
for me.
Did it? It's not opening for me.
Oh, you know what? It went directly to my app. Maybe for some reason, because I'm on my
Could it
phone.
be because I have a private account? No, that's not it.
No, because I can view it. Like I can.
It's working okay for me.
Weird.
It's
Anyway.
working for me.
Is it working for you?
For sure, I can click on it. It goes directly to it.
All right. Maybe it's just me.
Sunshine, let us know if you click it, check it out. Let me know if it works. Let us know if it works. Yeah. So the Waverly Ball, as I call it, because that's what it was. I mean, we were going on one of the myths that was said to us about a little boy named Timmy who had apparently perished. One of the 62,000, and from what I understand, what I heard, recently, actually, I think it was our good friend Keith Age who told us that number was actually inflated by tens of thousands.
I'm sure.
The amount of people that actually died there was probably close to 6,000 and not 60,000 or whatever it was.
Yeah, that would be a lot of people that died there on a daily basis, to be honest with you. I know they were shoving them down that chute,
The death
daily.
chute.
Yeah,
The
but that was
death
during
chute.
that was during the time of tuberculosis and stuff.
Tuberculosis. Well, I mean, that's why they opened the hospital, right?
Yeah. Most hospitals at that time.
Was it tuberculosis? And the reason why the where it was built and why it was built was because of the fresh air. Because they believed at the time fresh air was the best medication for tuberculosis. So open air. That's why Waverly, if you look at it, has big open windows.
Well, I mean, that is kind of true. I forget what they call it, but they had to change a lot of hotel designs because they were getting a lot of stale air. That was part of the reason for germ transfer. You weren't getting fresh air into the hotel. So you're literally closing in everything that enters, and it's never essentially leaving. So now you can get fresh air intakes and all sorts of other things to help with that, because you don't want to be enclosed in something that's just spreading germs everywhere. And that was a huge thing, back in 100 years ago.
Back in the 1800s.
Back in the day when I was just a wee lad.
A wee lad.
working in the factories. No. But yeah, I mean that wasn't an issue. That changed a lot. Just tuberculosis alone was an issue already about the sanitary conditions of the time and stuff. So I mean, it really speaks a lot about what was going on at that time, why we have so many diseases and so on, because of the way we were building things, as well as partially because we were also having too much clean water and stuff. We weren't building up our immunities as well, which is another discussion too.
Why the hell didn't they have vaccines back then for tuberculosis?
Well, they had to wait like 40 years, and then or 30 years or something like that. I think it was. Yeah.
Well, let's get this out there. Okay, so I guess December 12th will be the last show for 2020.
Okay. 2020.
And we're looking to do part 1. It's going to be part 1 of 2. And we're looking to do a mindset roundtable.
Beautiful.
Now, Justin, are you game?
I'm game.
And we're looking to perhaps bring Matt from the Secret Vault on.
Beautiful.
Ben and Joe. A lot of the and Trevor. A lot of the Mindset alumni coming on and doing a sort of mindset driven sort of, we'll talk about some of favorite memories with the show and topics and stuff like that. I'd love to bring on Reeves.
Yeah.
Onto the show. Reeves, who has just recently revived Paratalk. I don't know if you've been able to capture the shows. They're only short. I mean, they're roughly 10 to 15 minutes long, but still really cool. Again, good stuff, man. I mean, if you love haunted locations and the history behind them and stuff, Reeves does a really, really great job of sort of getting that and sort of explaining to you why these places are, apparently haunted.
Yeah, yeah.
And primarily in the UK, which is fine. I mean, hey, I'm all for wherever.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's cool, man. If you haven't listened to Paratalk, you can catch it on pretty much anywhere. I mean, Apple carries it. Spotify, I think, has Paratalk and several other platforms, I'm sure.
Yeah, we need to keep some of this alive. Even that's why I'm pushing myself to get back into doing things. Of course, if you're following, I do things here and there. I actually appreciate Steve and Alex having me back on, because I haven't done a show in almost 2 months, to be honest with you.
You slacker.
Maybe. Yeah.
Slacker.
I have been slacking. A few other things prevented me, but there's most definitely I want to keep some of this going, and of course promoting Reeves and everyone else as well the best I can. And I mean, it's perfect. We're all kind of mindset alums when you think about it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously there are more out there. Obviously there were the meat and bones to mindset, and that's why we would love to have those people on. I mean, what made mindset? I mean, why did people follow it the way they did so religiously? I mean, it's because of the people that he had on.
Yeah. As well as the way Gareth entertained the listeners. He was quite the showman, that was for sure.
Gareth was good at what he did. He was absolutely really good at, and there's no doubt about that. I mean, you know, we had been doing this show for years, but you know, when, like I said, I remember stumbling upon listening to, I'm not sure if it was Paratalk or Mindset, one of the two, and hearing his interview with David Ferrand
Mm-hmm.
on the Highgate vampire situation, and I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And that's basically how I met Gareth, right?
Yeah.
Punches, I agree. I mean, Gareth, obviously, but I do believe that there was a reason why he brought people on his show. Those same people he kept bringing back on, like Reeves. You know, Reeves and Ben and Joe. Exactly. His humor, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know,
it wasn't all
That's
fart
how we all
jokes.
clicked.
Sorry?
So it wasn't all fart jokes.
No. I mean, no.
No, he know how to wrangle things.
No, Gareth really knew how to connect with people. He did.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no doubt about that.
It's been interesting. Actually, some of the things that you wanted to bring up, the stuff that was kind of happening to me, which made me start questioning, you know, what was going on, you know, around us. Because during that time, I started to experience, you know, having my own experiences. And then I've started having people, you know, contact me more about paranormal experiences. Actually, one of the listeners, Mindset listeners, I had posted a question. Obviously, this was months ago now. And I asked, are people experiencing anything? And one of them said, it's kind of interesting, but since, Gareth passed, I've been having these experiences. And some things correlated with Gareth's death. Other things were, outside of that. But I found it odd that I myself was experiencing things. One of the things that we tried to play before was something that happened to me last year. But the stuff that happened this year has gone up. At least it feels like once a month I'm getting a contact from somebody about a case, or I myself am having some interesting experiences. And hopefully, you guys out there listening live and, in the after show eventually, in the replay, have you guys experienced any heightened psychic or paranormal activities, at least going on at least within the last almost 6 months or so? There are things Steve brought up to me personally about solar affairs and stuff, and I wonder if how much of that does play into everything that's going on. Even right now, we're having a lot of volcanic activity. People don't even know. I believe it's Spain. There's a volcano that erupted. It's been erupting since September, if I'm correct. And there's cities in ashes in Spain, and high volcanic activity also kind of correlates with some of geomagnetic frequencies and stuff. So I wonder if that eventually can correlate with maybe some paranormal experiences as well. A favorite of mine, Dr. Michael Persinger, had a theory about, tectonic, something about tectonic plate. I forget the actual theory, but he was saying that during these times when plates are moving and stuff like that, they seem to maybe help in, paranormal experiences and stuff. I wonder if that plays along into it, but most definitely, given my own personal baseline with, just being involved in the field as I am, I may not be doing cases as much as I used to, but I still go out to places and whatnot. But most definitely in the past year, maybe even 2 years, I've been getting people contacting me, or I myself have personally been experiencing some really odd stuff. And who knows, I've heard from circles that there's a shift coming. Maybe some of you spiritualists out there that are listening, you intuitives out there, maybe you can lend a hand to that. Maybe in the next show, coming up, might be something, for you guys out there, might be able to throw in some information for us, or you yourself have some experiences. Of course, if you're listening right now, please, we're in the chat, throw them on up in the chat too. But most definitely, if you've been following me personally, or even if you heard me on Garrett's show, I'm a bit skeptical. I'm as mentioned before, I'm a little bit middle of the road when it comes to a lot of things. If I were to call myself a Ghostbuster, I'm probably between probably all the Ghostbusters rolled into one, but I kind of more relate connect with Venkman, Dr. Venkman, more with the skeptical, kind of cynical approach to things. Yeah. And I always feel that that's me. Things happen. I always find another way, maybe to explain it, to try to understand it. But most definitely, I'm open to outside experiences. Especially I think the video I sent you happened earlier the week I sent it. So last week, I think I sent it to you. And of the video, I'm doing, if you watch my live streams, I'm at my art desk. I'm doing my usual stuff, not recording or anything. And I hear my cat Cece. She's growling, and I'm like, what the heck? And I just go, Cece, cut it out, and then I go, hey guys, because we have 3 cats in the house. Cece and Coda, a male cat, and Cece's a female. They tend to come up here. This is the attic. My office is in the attic. It's unfinished, but it's clean enough, obviously, to be up here. And I wouldn't let my cats up here if it was horribly dirty or anything like that. But I renovated, so a lot of things are covered up now. But I've had some experiences, which I've explained on this show, and I think I explained on Garrett's show as well. Not all of them. But a few, and most definitely this one caught my attention because again, I'm used to you yourself. If you consider yourself a tool, you have your own baseline of things. So when certain things happen to me, given that I'm skeptical, cynical, etc., it really heightens up there. It's really like, what is this? So I'm doing my thing, and my cat's growling, and I thought they were fighting. She ran, and I'm like, what the heck? I turn my head, and I'm like, cut it out, and I look, and it's just her, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And in the video I caught, this must have been happening for a couple minutes, because I already was like saying, cut it out, and it wasn't until the last growl that I'm like, what is she doing? And then I finally took, I think the video might be a minute long, so I already had a minute of watching her previously until I took this footage, which is about a minute long. And my cat is like chasing something by the way technically I have vaulted ceilings, which means they come down at, kind of like gables, right?
Just like a point.
Yeah, basically like a point. So you see right here, that's how the ceiling is. She is touching us, jumping and touching it and growling. And in the video, she walks away and then comes back, and she kind of jumps up to it and is like, what the heck? And then kind of calms down a little bit. I think she even licks her paw. At the same time, I'm like, doggone it. I should have caught the video. I should have got more footage beforehand, but I was just observing the situation at that point. And until she came back again, that's when I decided, okay, is this going to come about? And that's just, that's just one thing, again, not saying it's paranormal, but it's a little abnormal for me, given how many nights I spend up here by myself with my cats, like the other time, I think we played the video, but people heard the noise. And this was almost a year ago, I think around the fall or the winter. And I'm sitting here in my desk, and I just hear
here, man, listening to your story. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, that's how that's how I feel sometimes, because as I explained before, her grandfather, this is my girlfriend's house. It's her family. Her family owned it. And her grandmother passed away on a bed that I used to sleep in. We don't have that bed anymore, but she passed away on a bed. Yeah, swear to God. But her grandfather died in a hospital. But this is his area. And it's so funny. She goes, you're just like my grandfather. I made this my workspace, just like he did. you know. And I do a few other things up here, but it's mostly my office area where I work on my models, and I do, as you can see, there's a mess here, paperwork and envelopes and other things, and of course, you know, figurines and stuff that I set up. But you know, we're similar in that he's a handyman in himself, you know. And I used to joke around. I'd be like, you know what, old man, so the way he would rig things, I'm like, you made it work. Like, you made it work, you know. So I respect that, you know. It may be a little crude, but he made it work, you know. And I'm just similar, but a little more polished now, you know, the 2020 version.
Justin has stepped into the boots.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So and maybe that's why we click even more. But the family, this house has been in the family for years. She owns half of here. You see right here, guys. And this is what I usually deal with, is this crazy cat causing troubles for me. If you don't know, I actually found this cat on one of my travels for work. She was in a ceiling. Eventually, she made it into a wall, and I had to cut her out of the wall. And here she is, a pain in my butt now. I should have just left her in there.
That sounds like an X-Files episode.
It kind of that whole time there is like an X-Files episode. I have stories actually about the hotel too, but essentially that's eventually what I want to do my podcast on, some of my travels and the stories I picked up.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, but most definitely that situation happened where I heard this rattling that came out of nowhere, and it was in one of the drawers that he used to work in, like a little, I forget if one is the knob or one of the metal, you know, like a metal piece of something, and it was rattling.
I like the way you say that.
What's that?
The knob. Say that again. The knob.
The knob.
The knob.
You almost say it with like a loving expression.
Yeah, the knob.
I do love my knobs.
I love my knobs.
I do love my knobs.
Alex, Sunshine. That's interesting. Sunshine. What does Sunshine say in chat there?
She mentioned that when Gareth passed, they used the guys. I'm sorry, Sunshine. I'm not sure if you're male or female, and I don't want to say the wrong
she,
word.
Them, they.
Right, so forgive me, but it's something along the lines. They used the ghost box, and Garrett's voice came through, and about the fact how on the ghost box it said that Gareth passed away around lunchtime, and everybody, I think was it lunchtime? Yeah, died at lunchtime, but everybody initially saying he died at night, and then later on, the brother confirmed that it was actually at lunchtime.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
thank you for that.
I had a conversation. His brother contacted me, and you know, he is obviously still pretty upset. Obviously,
I would too. I would be too.
You know, very upset with the situation, obviously, and
you know, I was right. Sunshine is a female. Perfect.
Yeah. And you know, I felt really bad. Like I'm like and I said to him, I said, look at, you know, if I'm stepping out of line, please tell me.
Yeah.
You know, grab a recorder and go somewhere that you and Gareth would always go to.
Yeah.
A fond place that you guys, maybe when you were kids or whatever, you'd go to, and it was like a safe place, a place that you guys really love to go to. Take that recorder and talk to Gareth. Hey, Joe, how are you? And talk to Gareth. Talk to him like he was there with you. You know? And, you know, I'm not guaranteeing that anything's going to happen. Yeah. I don't want to guarantee that, but you never know. You know, if it makes you feel some sort of, you know, I don't know the proper
closure.
I don't want to say closure, but some sort of happiness or comfort.
Yeah, comfort kind of makes sense.
In talking to him like he was there, just talk to him, and you know, you never know.
Yeah.
And he said he didn't want to do it, but he asked me if I could do it.
Yeah.
And I said I could do it, but the thing is, I don't have that connection that you have with him.
Yeah, true.
You're his brother.
Yeah.
You guys had that rapport. You guys had those places when you were kids growing up and all this kind of stuff. I could do it. Sure, I could do it, but I don't have the same kind of connection. But I mean, is this something that we do, guys? Is this something that perhaps during one of the mindset discussions that we bring Gareth into chat?
You just gave me chills thinking about that.
Is that not that gave me chills?
But I'm open. As a scientist, pseudoscientist, I'm open.
Is that something that we do? Do we try to bring Gareth into the discussion?
I would be down.
I don't want to step out of bounds here with this, but I think this is something Gareth would even try.
Yeah, no, I think
I really would.
It's all about the experiment. I'm like Gareth. If there's an afterlife and I'm able to contact you guys, I'm gonna do it. You know, that's my plan. That's Houdini even said that, right? And we haven't found anything from Houdini yet, but still, I would do it. I even have a theory that if there is legitimate paranormal experiences connected to quote unquote a spirit, I feel there's a certain time period, a window that we have that we may be able to contact them directly.
I'm thinking, and Alex, let me know your thoughts. Exactly, Joe. And this is my thinking, that if we have people who have been around Gareth, with Gareth, discussing with Gareth, chatting with Gareth over the years, that perhaps there is a greater chance with all these energies put together that Gareth might come through.
So here's my suggestion would be also, I mean, it might be difficult with chat, but I mean, if everybody who comes on the show, if they have a recorder, maybe have the recorder at, beside them as they're doing the show, and then maybe review it after to see what happens. You know what I mean? Just because, I mean, not to say that we can't try the chat thing. We can. But that's an added layer also. If anybody has a digital recorder, just have it.
Just lay it around.
Lay it beside you.
Have a digital recorder.
Yeah, and just have it going throughout the whole show, and then see what happens.
And everybody participate. If you guys are listening to the show, participate. Have a recorder. If you got a recorder, have a recorder going. Oh. And you know what? I really do think that we could, I obviously don't want to make promises, and I think Gareth would love this. Absolutely, Sunshine.
Yeah.
Sunshine.
The tarot. If you're doing tarot, that would be a perfect time to maybe do some tarot readings that see what comes up.
Even that. This
and I think she mentioned it before that she did do that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But I think this is, if we do this, the mindset discussion next week, part 1. I think collectively, as a whole, guys, and see what we can accomplish in trying to make contact.
Yeah. I personally want to do things like this. What got me into paranormal research was my own personal experiences. And Alex and I kind of share something similar where, I had a dream. My dad died. And sure enough, the next day we get a phone call. My dad died. And ever since then, although that was it's not a traumatic experience now, but it was a traumatic experience at 9-10 years old. I analyzed it at that time. Like, what is this? What's going on? And I often thought of trying to contact my dad, because I obviously have a connection to that. I would be open because it is my, experience to that. But me personally, I wouldn't mind. I know people who would, but personally, I wouldn't mind because to me, it's all part of the experiment, and I've always thought about doing something like that. And this most definitely, if we accomplish this, this is quite a feat. To be honest with you, it's almost next level to sit here, as many of us who would be on the show are seasoned paranormal researchers, investigators, being involved with this experiment. And if we get in contact, wait, you guys haven't seen it, so you don't know the ending of Ghostbusters Afterlife, but it'd be almost like Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Don't give it away.
It would be almost like that, seriously, and it would be a nice little touch given.
And that's an easy
events.
enough thing to do. As long as you have a recorder, you can easily just set
Yeah.
it up while we're doing the show, because all the quote unquote energy is going to be focused on Gareth.
True.
Right? Because of the conversations.
Exactly.
So
this is the way I've been thinking about this the whole time. I said, look we're having all these people on, that have a connection with Gareth, that we really do stand a good chance that if it's there, that we will make some sort of contact.
Yeah. Joe even said he would want it. Good old Florida Trailblazer guys.
Well, yeah, Joe. Obviously, Joe. We'd love to have Joe a part of this. I mean, come on. Joe and Ben and Trevor and Reeves. There's a few people we'd love to have a part of this. That I think that something like this couldn't be done without those guys.
True, I agree. I would agree.
Joe. Who's in chat, Florida, Florida Trailblazer. If you have not watched his videos on YouTube, you are stunned.
Mm-hmm.
Get your asses over there now. Florida Trailblazer. That's all you have to type in on YouTube. Florida Trailblazer.
Joe, put your link in the comment section of this episode, not in the chat.
See if it works.
Well, not in the chat itself.
Put it in the comment.
Yeah.
Guys, we want to hear comments. We don't have enough comments from you guys. I don't care if you trash us. Who cares? Leave some
Punches. They're
comments.
taking too long.
Come on, punch, Complain about the breaks in the chat in the comments. But yeah, we really want to do this, and I think this is something Gareth would want us to do.
Yeah.
He'd be up for it for sure. Like, I mean, if he were
be the
still
first
here and
guy.
we were doing this with someone else, he would love to do something like this.
He would be all for it.
Yeah. And it'd be actually something worth it, to be honest.
And not only having the people on the show, but guys, people in the chat, people listening to the show. Spread the word. Spread the word. Next Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I know there's a lot of people around. I know he had a huge listenership in the UK. I know that. I get it. Well, who knows, Crazy John? That may happen next weekend. Next Sunday night, who knows? And I know this is something Gareth would want to do.
Yeah.
I really do. Talking to him several times about this.
Yeah. And true, he did say that if he was a ghost, he would let us know. That's why I don't know. Some of the experiences that happened to me was during the time of finding out Garrett's death, and it was a little shaken. I was a little shaken by it, Of course, you can find out more if you follow these guys, as well as some things that I mentioned on my own live streams. But most definitely, I think the light experience that I had, that was like I think the day or a couple days before we found out. I'm not gonna get into the whole story because I kind of get into it as it is, and it's the full story is a little bit more in detail. But long story short, my girlfriend's telling me, did we leave a light on in the kitchen, or did I leave a phone in the kitchen? And I look over and I'm like, no. And I'm like, oh, you left your phone there. And she goes, no, I didn't. And I'm like, whatever, it's just in the back of my head, why are you telling me this? And then I'm looking for my phone because she thinks it's my phone. And I'm like, no, it's in my thing. So, eventually I find my phone. I look in the kitchen. Her phone's not in there. I put the lights on. I do all this testing. Nothing came close to what we saw. It really looked like a phone light. And that was in my kitchen. The kitchen was completely dark. There's nothing that emulated that. And then not too long after that, I think this was days after finding out about Garrett's death, laying in bed, and I mentioned I had cats, and if you have cats, you know how crazy cats get. They're just they're fumbling around, they're making noises all the time. Sometimes they're quiet, a lot of times they're literally dropping everything. So I'm laying on the bed. I think the cat's with me, and by my feet, I just feel like someone's like that. I thought it was the cat, but my brain was processing it later on. It was like, this felt like someone pounded on my bed by my feet, like they were trying to wake up, and I kind of just was like, ugh, and I kind of put it off. But after the light experience and a few other things, I'm like, what is going on here? Because not too long after that, I had another experience, and it was up here this time. The cat thing that I just explained about a little earlier, that I got the little video of, just happened, I think, last week or something. What I'm about to explain happened probably July, August. I can't remember. Of course, if we go back in our chat, it's dated there whenever I mentioned it. But doing my thing, messing with my models and whatnot. And, every once in a while I'll smoke a cigarette. And I have a little shot glass up here. I have an ashtray right over here, but I have, if you're a smoker, you got to have multiple areas to put your butt in. And so I have a little shot glass. And
that sounds dirty.
Yeah, it is. And or sometimes you want to put things in a butt. But anyways, I put the cigarette out. And I remember I'm trying to visualize everything now, and I'm at the table, and I remember looking for something. And I look, and one of the models that I was getting ready was gone. It's still gone. Mm-hmm. Okay. To this day, I can't find this model. It's a possibility that maybe it's all in my head, of course, but that doesn't trigger me. I started looking for the model. And I literally look. I wish I could bring the camera so I could show you exactly where everything's at without causing a bunch of ruckus here. But I'm looking, and for some reason I look in the area where I had the shot glass with the cigarette butt in there. And I look, I turn my head, and the shot glass goes bloop right in front of my eyes. And I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, I'm like this, like looking around, like, did something just knock this over? And I put the shot glass back up. I shake the table. I push it lightly. I do it harder. I pound it. Nothing tipped the shot glass over. Nothing could tip it over at all. It took my force of my finger to tip it over. And I wasn't drinking, Steve.
Justin.
Yes.
I don't know if you're aware.
Don't wait.
But that Iron Man poster behind you just flipped on its side.
What? It's because I got to change the date on it. It's in October, guys.
I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I literally see this happen in front of me, and it's blowing my mind. I try to recreate it, I can't. And this is again the reason why I bring these up, because I'm pretty skeptical, and it's the last time something creepy happened to me was years ago. Years ago. This for sure has been a lot of little interesting things in a short period of time, especially now that I have these cases coming up. And this is probably a good way to start closing it out a little bit. But I got a call because a friend of mine works at the school, and she thought she experienced something. little does she know that there's stories not from her, not just from the people she works with, but other staff members, up to the
Yeah.
principal at this
Yeah.
school about everything that's going on here. And they're hearing disembodied voices. The research that I did, the school is connected to some old tunnel systems that they had back in the day because of how cold things used to get up here. They're also assuming some of it was possibly made because of the bootlegging at this time. In Northern Illinois, parts of it were literally where the mafia went to get away from Chicago. So we have that, and we've been waiting to actually get the case going. And one of the things that, a little side note, one of the things that they got about the case now is that they want us to kind of do it as a going away party. We were part of a going away party, which I found a little odd. But yeah, now we have that, and not only was she experiencing things, other people started experiencing things again in the auditorium and a few other places. And then about a month later, which I would say, I think I found that out in August, September, maybe. So back about in October or so, I get a phone call, and it's actually someone who knows my mother. And they were like, "Doesn't your son, isn't he the Ghostbuster?" They call me the Ghostbuster. And it's
They
like,
call me
yeah,
the Ghostbuster.
they literally call me the Ghostbuster. I've been to a case where in northern Wisconsin, where we got out the car and literally one of the people, a friend of the client, comes down and goes, "The Ghostbusters are here. The Ghostbusters are here." And I was like, "Holy heck, this is for real!" Like we really are the Ghostbusters. But anyways, they're calling me because they had some experiences in their house, and now I got another one about an apartment building, and two of the tenants saying they're experiencing things, and the owner of the apartment building has said they've been experiencing things for years here. And I know some of the area was a settlement to certain Indian tribes. I'm not sure if that plays into totally any of that. But it was interesting that not only that I had a few other calls, but these three that popped up recently, it's been a while. And now all of a sudden I'm experiencing my own experiences. A couple people contacted me about theirs. And now I have pretty much three cases that we're waiting on to kind of finalize before we head out there and kind of actually do some paranormal investigating. But yeah, who knows if it's the time frame right now, or if it's just happenstance. It's just the chaotic experience. But most definitely, it seems like something's up, and it's not the first time that I've heard from intuitives that there's like a shift, there's a change coming. And who knows if that plays along into that. And any of you out there listening who have may even heard the same thing, of course, let us know in the chats and stuff like that. I to see if any other things correlated besides some of the things that were mentioned earlier. But most definitely, it's some interesting times right now. And,
Well, I mean,
getting a little busier for me,
the magnetic
too.
poles are shifting, so that could have a bearing on it.
Sure, yeah.
That's just an excuse.
It's just an excuse.
Pole shifting. Come on, that's what they want you to think.
That's the triple X rated version.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm hearing I've heard a few different avenues saying, there's some sort of disruption within the psychic community, and
yeah.
They're all saying this kind of shit, and I don't know if I really buy or jump onto that kind of wagon.
Yeah.
Because of course they're gonna say shit like that.
Of course.
But I mean, when you look at what's going on in the world today, of course, there's a disruption. Of course, there's bullshit happening.
Yeah, and maybe we're feeding because of all the negative energy. It's funny.
Yeah.
When I first got into this, I had a different perspective, but it was funny when I watched Ghostbusters now with this paranormal investigator lens on. There's a lot of stuff that kind of makes sense of what they're talking about, Then again, Dan Aykroyd, he actually comes from a family of paranormal investigators.
Well, yes, father, for crying out loud.
Yeah, and his
So
grandfather. Yeah.
His
I met
grandfather.
his father. I bought his book, the book that his father
wow.
wrote, and he was at a signing at one of the bookstores here in Toronto, and I went to go see both Dan Aykroyd and his father were there, and you know, a friend of mine and I went there, and he signed the book and everything. So I had a chance to meet both of them.
He
Did he
said
speak?
you're
Was it Bill
cursed.
knowledgeable?
Well, I didn't get a chance to really talk to him,
cursed.
Unfortunately, but I mean, it was just neat being there, just sort of meet and greet sort of thing, right?
Yeah. but there's a lot of things that take into consideration with the science behind what they're talking about, like positive energy, the way certain spiritual experiences were happening given geological probably whatever geological interferences, stuff like that. But when you think about it, if let's say we feed into the greater energy, the greater egregor of things, as some put it, all this negativity could be feeding into negative experiences, right? And maybe not saying that all these paranormal experiences are negative, but maybe some of that energy that we are seeing feeds into that and maybe heightens these experiences as well. Is that the death whistle?
Yeah, it is. Isn't that cool?
You want to know something?
What?
That's actually in the Ghostbusters Afterlife movie.
Is it?
Yeah, they actually have a little thing about that.
Does it sound like a female screaming, though?
Yeah, it sounds like a scream. Wake the whole town up, Steve.
I know.
Speaking of other weird stuff, sorry to throw it out, but who knows, guys? Maybe I'm just talking craziness. Maybe you guys in the chat can add further to that. But I do feel maybe there is something added. The way the current climate is for everybody, it's adding to this overall energy, whatever that may be. Whatever it may be. We've seen. It does feel like there's certain times in our history that paranormal experiences heightened. I feel like certain points in the 80s it was heightened, and then in the early 90s it was heightened, and then kind of slowed down a little bit towards the middle 2000s. Well, we're not in the middle 2000s yet, but we're in the quarter 2000s right now. Holy crap. But in the earlier part of the 2000s, it kind of slowed down a little bit. Who knows if things are picking back up? I don't know. But
well,
go ahead, Steve.
Let me ask Alex. Alex, what are your thoughts about all this corruption going? Not corruption, conniption or whatever. Like, do you see something major happening? Do you feel like something major is happening? What are you getting?
You know what? If there are times when I feel that there's something really big about to happen, but it's one of those weird things. It's like, I know, Justin, you've meditated before, many times, and there's moments when you meditate when you almost feel like you can see everything from an eagle's eye view, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And there are times when it's like it's too far out of your reach. When I'm at that moment where you could see sort of like the overview of everything, it does feel like there's something that's happening, and it's not easy to explain, but it's a fleeting thing. It doesn't happen very often, right? So it's hard for me to say definitively that yes, something is happening, but it very well might be.
Yeah, I agree with Sunshine here that there's no real given time for these things, but in my experience and my research, it does seem like certain factors play into it. Otherwise, we would all be experiencing paranormal experiences all the time. Now, certain people, of course, like intuitives and, whatever, may be experiencing certain things more. And, of course, I'm the type of person that lumps in ghost experiences, paranormal experiences as psychic experiences. I don't think they're separate. I think they're all one experience that we just experience it, perceive it differently. But at least in most of my research, it does seem like geomagnetic radiation, among other factors, do play into heightening, maybe,
Heightening.
yeah, heightening these experiences to an
Mhm.
extent. Of course, what do we have? Like the EMF pump. Remember that? That was big. Of course, I don't think we have a lot of information
I
from that.
still think it's big. I
Yeah,
really think it's a huge proponent um of how we deal with it. But let me ask
go ahead.
you, you know, with all the white fluff out of the way, guys, and we're gonna end this pretty soon here.
Yeah.
We'll go to 11:30. But Justin, is something major going to happen? Do you think something major is going to happen?
Oh yeah, I totally believe. I mean, I believe that for various reasons. I follow a lot of tech news, and there's a lot of models that they have that predict some interesting things in the coming future. There's some stuff that I've been looking into that projects things up until about 30 years from now. And they're noticing, and we see it, we're seeing it now, the way of a social change is happening. And some of these models dictate that what they found out was you can't predict the individual, but you can predict the mass. So they can't predict what we're going to do, but if there is a bunch of us together, they can predict the mass of that. And what they're seeing is that there's some coming something. What exactly is that going to be? We don't know. They're also predicting in certain ways that there's going to be another natural event within the next 30, 50 years that's going to be close to the events that happened to us prior, like the ice ages and so on. And of course, that could be nothing to you guys, but if you start reading into that, if you actually do research into the ice age, it was a cataclysmic event, but our species survived. How we survived is what the interesting part is. But they're predicting that coming. And they have some economic models for the next 10 years that are predicting a huge change in what our economics will be. And that had nothing to totally do with cryptocurrencies and stuff, but that's part of it. So there's no doubt there's something that's changing. It's just what that is and how that's going to go about. Yeah, obviously I don't totally know, but there's information out there for it.
Is Omicron the beginning of the end?
No, I don't think so. With my basic understanding of diseases, I do feel like if it is going to be the end, it's the end of like the way the flu has been for us, where it's not killing us anymore. I believe this is going to be it's infecting us faster, but the variant itself is not as dangerous as
it's going to go from a pandemic to an endemic, like the flu.
There you go.
Well,
yes.
I honestly believe. Let's face it. You keep hearing Omicron. Oh well, another case. Let's face it. It's going to be like Delta. It's going to become the dominant strain. Let's face it. It's going to happen. Is everyone going to be infected with COVID? Probably.
Yeah.
The way things are going, it's most likely going to happen that, we'll say 80 to 90% of the population is going to be infected at some point.
Well, hey, they say...
Is this going to make us immune to it? Quite possibly.
They say
but
we
don't know.
I'm sorry. They're saying that we're already infected. And if you take a look at certain things, and this is going to be a little coarse for some people, almost every I don't think I have a particular, but the majority of people have herpes, a form of herpes as it is.
Yeah.
Cold sores.
Yeah, cold sores from everything.
Cold sores, yeah.
It's that. Eventually that's going to be. Of course, what I do worry about is what they've been talking about are these megaviruses that, who knows what that's going to turn into eventually with the way antibiotics and stuff have been kind of dwindling on certain things. But most definitely COVID itself, I don't think so. I don't. And there's most definitely gonna be a bigger danger. There's gonna be a bigger big bad eventually.
Well, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes without saying. I mean, this is something that we haven't dealt with before,
Of course.
obviously. And we're terrible at dealing with it.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. The problem is dealing with this, and
Yeah.
we weren't equipped to deal with something like this in the beginning, and this is why it's become so chaotic.
I call it incompetence because everything that I see is just that, you know. It's either about money, it's about prestige, and all these different things that come into play. That's not necessarily what the real problem is, you know. Just like I've mentioned before, if people paid attention in the beginning, a lot of the weird things that we were seeing as conspiracy were talked about already months before. I'm not going to get into everything because that's a whole discussion in itself. But there's a lot of stuff that's easily explained if you actually paid attention to the stuff that was going on. There's still stuff that we can't put our finger on. And there's still people that we should probably find out that need to be blamed for certain things. But most definitely, this is not going to be the end all for us yet.
No.
Not yet. No. And I wouldn't care. To be honest with you, I'm the type of person, I don't know. I wouldn't care. You know, don't let it be me. Fine. But I feel like we need a population reduction.
next Sunday night. And we'll let Justin give all his info out in a second.
Oh, yeah.
Next Sunday night, we are going to do a mindset dark discussion. And we want you all to join us. We want as much people out as possible that know Gareth, that were listeners to the show. I think we're going to try to do this collectively. A part of the show to make contact with Gareth. Yeah. Something that I believe, and I know by talking with Gareth, something that he would want done.
Yeah.
Next Sunday night. Tune in here on our YouTube channel and, of course, on the New Visions Radio Network, www.newvisionsradio.com. And Justin, get your info.
All right, real quick. I agree with you, Sunshine, real quick. Volcanic activity is something people should be watching. My info, find me CrazyJ82 on Twitter, KRAZIE J82, or find the Anonymous Radio Network on Facebook or Twitter as well. And a Linktree has all my stuff, CrazyJ82 there. You can get all the info. And, of course, podcasts, all that. And, of course, here on Nocturnal Frequency. And I appreciate you guys having me on. And I appreciate the people in the chat who enjoyed some of the rantings I do have.
Come on, Justin. You should know your family. You're always welcome. You're always welcome here.
I appreciate that.
You're going to have to shave your head, though.
Yeah. I don't know, guys.
Hey, look at man. We're retitling the name of the documentary we're working on to 3 Bald Guys in an Asian.
Yeah.
Anyways, I want to thank everybody for tuning in or watching us here on YouTube for the extended half hour. Thank you guys. Really appreciate your support. Your support is greatly appreciated. Guys, check out the merch store. Check out we just for limited time we have double-sided t-shirts and double-sided hoodies available only until December 31st.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give me one because I worn mine out.
And
Seriously.
Again, any money made obviously goes back into the running of the show. We don't take any profit from this whatsoever. It just goes right back into the show. So guys, please think of a great Christmas gift. Check out the store. It's in chat. It's in or sorry, not in chat. It's in the show notes, and again, it's on the main show page. Thank you everybody for tuning in and watching. Until next Sunday night. Next Sunday night will be the last show of 2020, part 1 of the mindset discussions. Tune in, guys, or watch us. Until then, take care, everyone. Have a good evening.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.